delivered this.
It seems like the other day that I was standing at Kyalami Equestrian Park when Kelly O'Connor was going around and winning the most prestigious event in South African show jumping, the Derby. And you are the man that shoes your horses. We'd love to know how that came to fruition.
I went with Megan down to Polokwane to jump, and Kelly O'Connor was there, and a horse had kicked off a shoe in the stable, and then she approached me and asked me if I could fix that shoe. A couple months later, I got a phone call saying, could I please come and help her at her yard?
My mare, Hera van der Bein, pulled a shoe, and one of my friends recommended that I use Mark to fix it, and he did such a fantastic job that he actually then ended up becoming our yard farrier.
She interacts with the farrier and she tells you what she feels.
I really thought that his work was European standard, and I wanted to stick with that.
It's kind of a work of art. When those horses' feet are finished, it looks like they're ready to put on a mantelpiece and display for everybody. Is that part of the ethos?
We do like to have our feet looking like they belong in a calendar or a magazine. That's sort of what we strive for in every single foot. And our motto is, do it better today than what you did it yesterday, and try your best to do that.
We have a lot of high-end competition horses, a lot of dealing horses coming through the yard that regularly have to go through vet checks and vettings. And I think to be very specific on the shoeing when they're getting critiqued is so important. So that is a huge factor for me and who I choose as my professional farrier.
Yourself and your wife have embarked on a very ambitious program to bring worksmen to South Africa. How did that all come to fruition?
It all started off with the simple purchase of a Werkman Black, which is now called Hoofbeat, which is a gait analysis system. It's a groundbreaking, revolutionary sort of bit of kit, and it really, really helps.
So Mark, that in itself tells me that you were thinking way ahead of the game already in terms of gait analysis.
Yes, and we do try to do as much as we possibly can, the fine-tuning of sport horse. Shoeing a horse well and shoeing a sport horse and keeping it sound through its career is, I think, what separates a lot of farriers and that sort of thing.
The farriers are not an easy bunch in terms that everybody has their own preferences, and I think the range of shoes that you can get is huge, and everybody certainly seems to prefer different things. We initially based it on our own practice, which was a little tricky to do because we had a good idea of what we used, but we didn't really know what everybody else used. So ordering and doing all the admin behind it and figuring out what everybody wanted and needed was certainly tricky, but we're getting the grasp of it, and I think going forward we've got a better idea now of what our market wants. Obviously we've got two big brands here already, but there's enough horses and there's enough farriers certainly for a third shop, and bringing in a big brand that's got a lot of popularity worldwide. I think it was not necessarily an easy transition, but something that was quite well accepted by our farrier community, and I think there's enough of the cake for everybody to have a nice size bite.
So I've seen the product that Megan and Mark are bringing in. It's called Werkman. It's a shoe made in Holland, so it is really the highest end European standard quality. So if Mark, who's my professional, he advises we go with this shoe, I do trust him explicitly to do that.
I would imagine that the decision to be involved in this horse expo is because you are dealing directly with horse people. It's a rifle approach as opposed to a shotgun approach.
Yes, it is. I think having our stuff right in the middle of the fire, basically, you could say it. It gives us great exposure. Farriers are there, owners are there, all that sort of. So I think it is definitely the correct environment to have a bit of exposure in, and we can showcase our amazing range of shoes and nails and that stuff that we have.
That brings me to my next point, and that is your motto.
For farriers, by farriers, which our main goal, or not our main goal, but one of our big goals is to support the local farriers. Anybody that is part of the industry that makes anything and needs a platform to sell their stuff, we try and give them as much exposure as we possibly can.
We try and keep minimal markup. It is difficult with the euro. The euro has gone up quite a lot recently. So our end goal is to make affordable products at a good price, but good products, and that's our goal with the whole shop.
And then my poor wife, I don't know how she does it, but she manages to do it and get it here timelessly mostly, and mostly in one piece, which is also quite a plus.
Between myself and my mum, we sit on the computer with the spreadsheets and we run through them with a fine-tooth comb and make sure that we've allocated for everything. We've sort of tried to forecast what the euro is going to be at time of import, because you pay duties on your exchange rate at time of import. It is definitely not easy. Something that takes a lot of management and a lot of fine nitpicking to make sure that you've done it correctly and made sure that you're not going to run at a loss.
Yeah, and you're up against some very, very hard hitters that have been doing it for a long time, that have got plenty of experience, have been to so many international expos, that have got well-developed relationships. It really cannot be easy.
No, it's not easy. I suppose that we were a little bit lucky in the sense that we're quite familiar with the environment. Mark and I are both very involved in the horse community. We sort of know a lot of the owners, we know a lot of the farriers. I think that made it a little bit easier of a transition into the market than being somebody completely new who maybe didn't know everybody. But yeah, by no means easy trying to break into a market afresh with a new product that's never really been marketed here.
They do so much for the industry. People know about them already. The marketing's basically been done. So I think the want has been here already, which helped us a lot. And now we're supplying them and making them readily, easily available. WhatsApp is pretty easy, and we can send nationally within a day or two. So it's not a problem whatsoever. Or you can pop into the shop and sit and have a coffee with us and 250 Pommel Road in Kyalami. It's a little humble beginning, and we're very proud of it. So I think our choice in having it in Kyalami was a good one.
You bring the smoke, dim the light, do the work, and make it right. Yeah, artisanal forging. It's a magical process. But for those who have the tools and the skills, it turns out not to be magic, but the results of years of experience. Striking the iron while it's hot since 1909, and proudly calling ourselves strong as steel and rich in tradition. 4 generations of experience, strengthened by innovations, making us exceed today's expectations. In the development of a new horseshoe, accelerating your knowledge in farriery, but above all, a healthy hoof and top performance of the horse. That's how we bring different models, constantly refined, improved and adapted to the whole world. Results that let you believe in higher powers, but are just the outcome of us seeking the magic in rediscovering our strengths. That's why we like to say, smarter skills, better horses.